What's up, guys? So we're going to show you exactly how to tell when you should sexualize and when you should take a step back when you're messaging a girl. We're going to help you perfectly calibrate your text game to any situation so you never have to worry about messing up with any of the girls you're texting ever again. So this is a very common question that we get. It's like, hey Alex, when should I sexualize? When should I back off? I don't want to creep the girls out. And there's actually some very specific signs that you can look out for, which I'm going to show you in this video. We're going to be talking about the green light path, which is basically when the girl's giving you a lot of signs to further sexualize, the red light path, which is the opposite, when she's telling you back off, and the yellow light path, which is something in the middle. And we're going to have examples of girls that I've hooked up with for all three of these things. Also, make sure you guys watch until the very end because I'm going to show you what to do if you sexualize too much and creep the girl out, how you can come back from that. Yes, there's a way. It's hard, but I'm going to show you how it's done. Let's start off first with the green light sexualization path, which is where the girl is giving you obvious signs that she wants you to sexualize. And it's important to be able to pick up on those cues because if you don't, and you don't sexualize when the girl is giving you an opportunity, quite often she's going to think that you're lame or you're a square and she could go somewhere else to a guy who kind of gets her a little bit more. So this is how the conversation begins. This is on Tinder. I say question, says, what's that? I don't see any body pics. You're not some kind of secret fatty, right? Now look, this is not some kind of advanced sexualization game. She legitimately didn't have any body pics. So this is a funny text that you can send, which gets girls to respond either positively or negatively. Says, lol, no, I promise. She gives me her number. Text me, now I'll show you. So I say, hey, you. And here she responds with one photo of her in her underwear, another photo where I can clearly see her ass, right? This is very much a green light for me to sexualize further, right? And again, I'm picking up on what she's saying. Well, first of all, because it's super duper obvious. It won't always be this obvious. But when you have green light sexualization path, it's gonna be pretty blatant the girl wants you to sexualize like this. So definitely not. That looks like it could use a good spanking. She says, yes, sir. I just tried Tinder for the first time last week. I've gotten that same question more than once. So yeah, I need a full body shot. I say, perhaps, smiley face. What are you looking for on here? I do not have any expectations. Someone to have fun with. Open to finding a partner, but one day at a time, or just fuck. So this girl's making it very, very obvious, right, that she wants to have a very sexually charged conversation. I say, perfect, same here. I have a very high sex drive. Says, show me more pics. I say please, please, baby. There we go. And here I send her a dick pic, right? And again, dick pics actually can work really well in a situation like this, where the girl's giving you a green light sexualization path, and she's explicitly asking you for sexual photos. But if you don't have both of those things, then you should save those dick pics and not send them to the girl because it can actually creep a girl out. But again, like I said, when you have the green light sexualization path, it is important to mirror her energy and give her some sexualization, because if you don't, the girl's just gonna lose interest and go somewhere else, right? Because again, she's just gonna think, oh, this guy's not gonna fuck the shit out of me. He can't pick up on, what I'm putting down. Why would I meet up with him, right? She says, oh my God, that's fucking beautiful. I say, think you can handle it. So a lot of sexting going on back and forth. That's like 7 inches. You have no idea, babe. I'm a grown woman. Are you sexually submissive? I like being dominated. Do you like big breasts? And she sends me a photo of her amazing titties. I say, of course. I'd suck on those nipples nice and slow until those little panties were dripping wet. It's very rare to see a cock as big as yours. I'm ready. So here, basically I kind of got through the sexting. Now it's time to go for the meetup. I say, you feeling spontaneous tonight? Yeah, kind of scary. What side of town you in? So here I give her the area. She says, do you want me to come by? I say, yes. Lol, this is crazy. Can you FaceTime me so I know you're a real person? Lol. So here we FaceTime. Says, sure. She sends me her live location. I give her my location. She comes over within 5 minutes of her walking in the door. We are having sex. And you can see in the situation, the girl made it very, very obvious, right, that, she wants to have a sexually charged conversation. I kind of picked up on the energy and mirrored it, right? I had a very sexual conversation with her, and that's what got her to come over and hook up with me, right? But if I didn't pick up on that, even though she made it really obvious, she probably would have met up with another guy. Now, let's take a look at what a yellow light sexualization path looks like. So yellow light basically means is that the girl's not explicitly telling you no, she's not telling you to back off, but she's also not reciprocating your sexualization advances, right? She's kind of going sideways with you. And you're gonna see how I handle those types of situations. And there's a very specific way to handle that. So I open this girl on Tinder, hey, trouble. She says, hey. I say, how goes that Tuesday? Doing some simple stuff at home because I have a cold, lol, and yours. I say, good, just flew into Puerto Rico. Gonna take a shower and explore. So this is when I was visiting Puerto Rico. Says, cool. And here I take my first stab at sexualization. I say, you should be my sexy tour guide. Says, he, right? So she's not explicitly telling me, no, whoa, you're being too sexual, but she's also not mirroring my energy like the previous girl was. So here I send her a little bit of a flirty gif. Says, he, thumbs up. So I say, what are you looking for on here? She says, meeting new people, having new experiences, which is a very neutral answer. She's not saying, hey, I want to have fun like the previous girl, but she's also not saying, whoa, I want a relationship. She's basically saying, hey, I'm open to hooking up, but I'm not going to tell you explicitly. You have to just make it happen in the moment, right? That's basically what she's saying. I say, I can definitely show you a new experience. says, hee hee hee. Yeah, see chica, cool, hee hee hee. Right? So here I've taken several shots at sexualization, and she hasn't basically rejected me, but she also hasn't kind of reciprocated that energy. So what you do in a situation like that is you stop focusing on sexualization and you move things forward in a different way by getting her number or going for the date, right? So the sexualization path is kind of closed. Now we're gonna focus on the logistics and actually getting the meetup. So I say, we should get together soon. What's your schedule like? Okay, since I work part-time, my schedule's rotative. I say, cool, how does Friday evening sound? Here's just logistics. She says, yeah, I can if I feel better. I say, perfect, this will give your immune system extra motivation. What? So she doesn't get my joke. I say, joke. She says, hee hee, well, shoot me your number, and then we text a little bit back and forth. Ultimately, I got the day we met up. We met up at a bar. I pulled her back to my place after half an hour to an hour. We wound up hooking up. But again, this is a good example of a yellow light sexualization path. Let's take a look at another one with a native English speaker so you can see that maybe it's a little bit different with a girl who speaks English fluently. So I say, hey, trouble. She says, hey, how goes that Monday? Excessively boring so far. Yours. I say, we should change this, right? So I'm kind of throwing the first signs of sexualization. She says, what do you have in mind? And here I send her a funny text, say, big gooey facial of ... romantic courtship. So this is a really funny text that you can send when the girl asks you, like, what do you have in mind? She says, that would definitely be less boring. I say, yeah, what are you looking for on here? And she gives me a very similar answer as the previous girl. She says, nothing in particular, just whatever happens. Right? So again, very much a neutral answer, say whatever happens and chill, I'm in. It's been working out pretty well for me so far. So again, here, I've kind of feel like, even though I didn't take as many stabs at it as with the previous girl, but I feel like the girl's not really gonna be reciprocating my sexualization advance over text. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna escalate in other ways and go for the meetup. So I say, good, you feeling adventurous tonight? How adventurous would I need to be? Mild to moderate, you got this. Says, I should be able to manage that. Good, drinks, my place 9. Sounds like a plan. Number, sorry, add me on Snap. And whenever a girl tells you to add her on Snap or Instagram, you can just send this text. No Snap here. If I send her a dick pic, it'll last more than 5 seconds. She says, haha, gives me her number. Hey, it's Alex from The Thing. Hey, is it time for drinks yet? If not, then I just got dressed for no reason. Address. Google says 26 minutes. Cool, perfect. ETA just parked. That was fun. Bam. So this girl comes over, and we actually wound up hooking up really, really fast, like within 5 or 10 minutes of her getting into my place, right? But you can see that, this is a good example of a yellow light sexualization path, where the girl is not basically telling you to back off, like you're going to see in the next examples, but she's also not reciprocating the energy in those situations. You simply want to move things forward in other ways. All right, now let's take a look at something that I would say is in between yellow light and red light, because this stuff is not black and white, right? There's layers. There's something between red light and yellow light. There's something between yellow light and green light. And this is one of those ones that's between yellow light and red light. I say, oh, and either says, hey. I say, how's your Sunday fun day going? Not that fun, just working a lot. How about yours? Damn, sounds like you could use a little stress release. She says, yeah, that could help a lot. So far she's giving me a yellow light. But sometimes the girl will start off giving you yellow light, and as you push things further, she backs up and gives you the red light. I say, I'll get the wine and massage oil ready. So I'm kind of upping the ante with each one of these texts. And she says, oh, bet, which is a very neutral response. She's not really reciprocating my energy. She's not even like somewhat mirroring the energy. She's just like, cool, right? So that's kind of what I would consider a red light, right? I can see that this direction isn't really gonna work if I keep pushing it. So here what I do is, again, the same thing as with yellow light. I move things forward in other ways. So do you have WhatsApp? Of course. Number, she gives me the number. So I say, Alex, she says, hi, how's your Friday going? It's good, not so much to do. How about yours? Here I send her a picture of me and my dog. She says, oh, he's very cute. I say, thanks. He says he's excited to meet you. Haha, I bet he said that. And again, some time has passed, so I take another stab at sexualization. I say, yeah, I hope you like it rough. Says, then I'm excited to meet him too. So this is a clear sign that you're in the red light territories when the girl doesn't acknowledge your sexualization attempts, right? She's not even engaging in them. She's just changing the topic. That means that, again, you've kind of hit a wall and you have to escalate in other ways. Save it for the date. I say, good, do you like wine? So again, I'm moving things forward in other ways. Well, to be honest, I've tasted wine once or twice, but I've never been or have interest to drink it. I say, tequila kind of girl. So she says, I'll say it's a lie, but it's true. She says, what do you like to drink? I say, I like tequila and whiskey, but we can make you a nice Shirley Temple. Me and the husky, that sounds nice then. Yes, we should get together sometime soon. Yes, what's your schedule like? Whatever. How about tomorrow night? Yeah, that sounds good. Tomorrow, what time and where? I say, my romantic balcony, say 10:30. Same exact text as the previous girl, but I get a totally different response. Well, we do not know each other, so I prefer a public place. I say, stranger danger. She says, of course. Alrighty, let's meet at a red bar then. Okay, better. Where you from? So here we have a little bit of back and forth, and you can see this full layer report on the PWF forums, and ultimately we meet up. We think we hung out at the bar for 20, 30 minutes. It was close, so we just literally went to the bar next door. 30 minutes later, I pulled her back to my place and we hooked up, right? But again, that's a good example of something that's in between yellow light and red light. Now let's take a look at a clear red light. So I want to give you guys something very clear that you can mentally, envision. So this is Bumble, where the girl has to open you. So she says, what was your favorite part about living in Boston? Because that's where I went to university. I say the cute accents. Almost went to blah, actually. So that's the school that she went to. I censored that for privacy reasons. She says, too funny. I almost went to my school. Was the right choice for me. And I don't think I've heard Boston accent referred to as cute, lol. I say there's a first for everything. How do you wind up in Phoenix? So far, this is just banter back and forth. She's asking me when I got here. I said, just got here yesterday. She says, and wait, did you just move here yesterday? And here I send her the same text that I did with the Puerto Rican girl. I say, yeah, you could be my sexy tour guide. She says, wow, what brought you out here? The same thing as the previous girl. She's not even acknowledging my sexualization attempts. She's changing the topic. That means that you hit a red light. I say, Phoenix is where the bulk of my illegitimate children are located and work, I guess. She says, gotta pay the child support. What do you do for work? I take another stab at it, say male stripping. And she does the same thing. And she basically doesn't really acknowledge. She says, I'm gonna take that as sarcasm, right? She doesn't want to engage in the, the verbal sexualization that's going on over text. So again, what do you do in that situation is you stop pushing it and you move things forward in different directions. And ultimately, I texted this girl a good amount back and forth. Ultimately, we met up at a date at a bar. This was when I was staying in Phoenix for a few weeks. After an hour and a half, pulled her back to my place and we hooked up, right? But again, if I kept pushing it further and further, she probably would just stop texting me. And this is what you're gonna see happen in the next example. So this is gonna be how you handle when you push things too far. Because if the girl gives you the red light and you keep pushing, she's typically gonna just ghost on you. Sometimes the girl will be like, you're a disgusting pig, and not get text with you. Most of the time, the girls will just ghost, right? That's typically how girls handle guys who go too far when it comes to sexualizing. So the girl's like, what are you looking for on here? I say, very unique. To meet a cool girl I have chemistry with, maybe break my multiple oral orgasms record. Pretty sexual text. She says, ooh, now you're the one getting me excited, lol. I'm pretty open-minded with regards to what I'm looking for, but do prefer to meet and get to know someone first, wondering if that's a deal breaker. So this is the yellow light, right? And again, you can go from yellow light to red light very fast. So I say not all. I like to build some chemistry first as well. It also makes the sex way better. Now in hindsight, this wasn't a good text, right? Because I was already hitting the yellow light. I tried pushing things further, right? And I kind of crossed the line into red light and she stopped responding. So I'm wondering, what should I have said instead? Well, I think I should have just left the last part out. I should have said not all. I like to build some chemistry first as well. That's it. That would have been a lot better than adding that last thing in the end about it making the sex way better, because again, that was a little too sexual for her too fast. And she doesn't respond. So I wait a few days, I re-engage. Were you hoping for a different answer? She doesn't respond. I wait a week. I sent her the skeleton meme. This is a really good GIF. Says, listen to me. If we break quarantine, we could all die. This was during the pandemic. I say, aren't you a nurse? She says, lol, GIF was not serious. Yeah, I worked at the ER for a bit with the coronavirus crazily, typically blah, blah, blah. I say, sounds like you could use some stress relief. Not the best text either, right? Because again, as soon as she stops responding, I hit her with something a little bit more sexual and she disappears once again. So here I have to re-engage one more time. So typically when you push a little bit too far, what you have to do is hit her with takeaways. You have to pull back, right? So instead of pushing, you're pulling. I say, am I wrong? She doesn't respond. I hit her with this takeaway. I say, honestly, didn't take you for the flaky type. And it's also really important to know how to understand takeaways. If you haven't, check out my video on that. It says, I'm really not, but I'm not just looking for a hookup. So this is what happened, that because I sexualized a little bit too much, the girl came to the conclusion that I want just a one-night stand. And that is what typically will happen if you sexualize too much. But you see the conundrum you're in, because if the girl's giving you the green light and you don't sexualize enough, then she's just gonna think you're lame, you're boring, she's not gonna meet up with you. So you have to always sexualize just the right amount. I say, and when exactly did I say I was looking for a hookup? So here I'm doing some frame control. True, never directly. I guess I assume based on flirty texts mentioning sex, which I'm not against, but Tinder does have a reputation. I say, yeah, I do like me some flirty texts, but no, I'm over one-night stands. Always found them a bit unfulfilling. Plus, sex gets even better after you build some chemistry. So here's a reframe. Well, I have to agree. A little tension makes things more interesting in my opinion, and I'll apologize for assuming too many people looking just for that. I say, it's cool. I'm glad we're on the same page. She's like, what have you been up to during this quarantine? I say, mainly been getting my work done. Perhaps you could be my distraction. Right here, I'm starting to move things forward once again. So looking for someone to prevent you from doing work. Perhaps if you play your cards right. Here I'm moving things forward. I say, do you like wine? She's like, to be honest, I don't drink. Maybe a fun mocktail for me. And here's just more logistics, a little bit of banter, logistics. Ultimately, she comes over, we go for a walk. After the 10-minute walk, I pull her back to my place and we hook up. This one was actually pretty easy. As soon as we got to my place, within like 10 minutes, we were hooking up. But you guys can see the pattern here. It's, again, it is important to be able to clearly understand how much to sexualize and how much not to sexualize so that you don't miss out on any of the different types of girls that you could be texting with. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable. If you're enjoying this kind of practical, no BS advice, all I ask is that you guys hit the subscribe button, click the bell for notification, and consider sharing this video with a few friends because it really helps us in the algorithm. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.